God bless us, Sidi. So removing the, what did you say again? Physical impurities. And we're going to discuss what that. And now this is what may look the same or mean the same. Right? What may look apparently like ritual impurity or physical impurity and may associate and come to mean the same. And sunnah ghusl, for example, the second washing and the third washing in the wudu, all these things is purification. Even though the second and the third is not necessarily lifting or removing the hadath or the najasa. And the concept of this is a very Quranic concept that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, Inna Allah yuhibbu tawabin wa yuhibbu al-mutatahhirin. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who are oft repenting, always standing back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sighatul mubalagha. And He loves those who are oft purifying themselves, often, right? Not only one time, not only two times, but always when you fall into the state of hadith. And I'm using hadith for purposely, right? So hadith means ritual impurity, and najasa means physical impurity. Great. So, because it's just easy, physical and right, to use najasa and hadith. Okay? Inna Allah yuhibbu tawwabin. Right. And our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Al-tuhuru shatrul iman," that purification is half of our religion, because everything that we engage in, there's some sort of purification, right? Wudu, washing in the restroom, taking a bath, right? And all these things. So this is the prerequisite for a lot of our ibadahs to be accepted. So we have to really pay a close. Everyone is with me, right? Okay. So we say hadith is physical impurity, right? Okay. It's ritual impurity. Good. Paying attention. And then we have something called khabath. What is khabath? Always in fiqh, you open the books of fiqh, you see, okay, hadath, there's najas. What is what? What is khabath? Yeah, Aisha, what is khabath? You don't know? Okay. That's an excellent answer. Imam Malik said, I don't know is half of what? Half of knowledge. Great. Khabath. Yeah. I don't know. MashaAllah. That's a very correct answer. Allahumma barik. Khabath is material impurity. And I'm going to discuss material impurity. What does that mean, right? Something that befalls. And then we have najasa. And najasa we said is what? Something physical, or it's filth. Something which is physical. Okay. Everyone is with me. Now let's go. Yes.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I thought wasakh in Arabic was dirty. Is the just different from wasakh?
So all those are interchangeable words, right? Khabath, wasakh, all these are, you can interchange it. But in terms of, each science has its own language, so to say, right? So, and in fiqh, they'll use maybe khabath over wasakh, right? Okay, hadath. Hadath is in different category. And I gave you the first answer. Hadath or ritual impurity can be something which is major. Akbar, that we say, right? What is another hadath that you guys think? Ritual impurity. And we've discussed this in Sheikh Farhan's class, man. Don't let Sheikh Farhan down. We've discussed this in his class in the Hanbali fiqh. More so is the same thing. I'm just, he gave you an updated software. I'm just giving you the old original software. That's a little bit blow, but Yeah. Or we have minor. Asghar. There. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ritual impurity, is it today is it a little bit boring? Last time everyone was engaging, like what? So what? I feel like everyone is a little bit today, like, Is everything good? Yalla.
We need an IV of Iman.
We need IV of Iman, inshallah, ya Rab. All of us. So the hadith, the ritual impurity, is something which is major. What does that mean? Major impurity.
Can't pray.
Huh?
You can't pray.
But can I pray for minor though? Yeah, you can't pray for both. Which is true. Right? That's an absolutely correct answer. I can't pray. And I can't pray for this either though. Both of them I can pray. But what is a major? Why is it? What is the distinction here? I thought any hadith is hadith.
Is it because maybe like that takes time?
Takes time to do what?
Like before you
Man, major takes time. Takes time to.
as a woman.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. One moment. Takes time. How? What does that mean?
If a woman is menstrual time,
Yeah, but what about for a man? Because man, he cannot be in a major state of hadith. He can. So, for his doesn't take time.
bathroom situation.
But for both, it doesn't take time. It does both, yani, or it doesn't. It has nothing to do with the longevity of time or something like that. What do you think, sister? You don't know? This is a very correct answer. All right.
Does it have to do with like the emotional state or something?
Emotional state. Yes, it has to do with the emotional state. I will rephrase that. I will say a spiritual state rather. Huh? Hasad? Like hasad is a major impurity? Absolutely, yeah, maybe. It is. It is. But you had a question, my brother.
I remember a hadith where I think Umar, he came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, when I go to my wife at night, but do I have to make a ghusl or can I sleep? He said, make wudu, you can sleep. But when you wake up and you want to pray, you have to make a full ghusl.
Okay.
If you want to just sleep, you can make wudu.
Okay.
My question is, which category is that major?
What do you think?
Major.
Major, good. Right? Yes. So when I am in a state of, that is called a state of janaba. So when I'm in a state of janaba is when an individual consummates the marriage. And what does that mean? Again, we're in fiqh class, we gotta be explicit. When the tip of the vagina touches the tip of the penis, it's fiqh. It has to be precise and detailed, right? So when I did not talk about penetration, just touch. So once it touches, that necessitates you, and it puts you in the state of janaba. And that state of janaba is a spiritual state. There's nothing dirty on the individual, right? But it's a spiritual state. And there's a way to lift it. And another example of major is hayd. Hayd is the menstrual cycle. And nifas, postnatal bleeding. So all these are major impurities, hadath, al-akbar. Good. Now this set has befallen them. What is the solution? Or is it at the end of the world? Ghusl. Allah bless your son. Ghusl. So ghusl, right? The ritual bath is the way for me to exit this state. And you say emotional. So right? Emotion is a state. So right? So for me to exit this state of janaba or hayd or nifas, I have to go and perform ghusl. And we're going to in detail talk about how do I take ghusl and what constitutes that. Minor impurities. What do you guys think about minor impurities? Again, Sheikh Farhan is here listening and seeing people who are paying attention in his class. That's why he came. Passing gas. Allahumma barik. Passing gas. Once you pass gas, now you're in the state of minor. All right? Asghar. What else? Huh?
Vomiting
Vomiting?
is included.
No, I don't think so. Maybe in the school of Aisha. Maybe.
Touching your spouse.
In the school of Aisha again. Yeah, in the Shafi'i school, yes. So touching your spouse. Touching your spouse. And subhanallah. Kashf. Right? So passing gas, urinating, right? And touching the opposite gender. Okay? And I added that purposely. Touching the opposite gender. Intentionally, unintentionally. Willingly, unwillingly. Touching the opposite gender. Again, before I started the class, I wanted to give a disclaimer. This is Shafi'ī Fiqh, right? This is Shafi'ī Fiqh. This was a disclaimer that I was supposed to give. And in Shafi'ī Fiqh, there is a lot of rulings that people might be following other opinions. And even in the school, there's other variant opinions. But we'll try to just give a general conception. And on that, Imam al-Bajuri is one of the famous Shafi'i scholars. He says, when you are tried with something which is, one says don't do and one says do, he says, قَلِّدْ مَنْ أَجَازْ. Follow the one who allows it. For example, the Shafi'is, they say, touching the opposite gender. Or let me make it even more, a little bit narrow it down. Touching your spouse breaks wudu, and another school says no, then as an individual, you can take that. And it's something called talfiq. Okay? Huh?
Something called what?
Talfiq. Talfiq is taken from some other source, yeah.
Can I clarify? I just want to clarify. So Imam al-Bajuri was saying that he's speaking about the layman, that if the layman has to choose between two opinions, you pick the one that allows it?
So he is in does he talk about the layman? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But what is the layman's madhab anyways? The layman's madhab is the madhab of the sheikh or the individual. For example, what is our madhab here? At this specific moment is the Shafi'i school. But as an institution, what is the madhab? The madhab is the madhab of the figure. Hanbali, or Shafi'i, or Hanafi. If you go to a Hanafi masjid, so at that moment, when I'm going to ask the mufti, whatever the mufti gives me, that's my madhab. This madhab and this thing is just a formality for studies and those people who facilitate our connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should not be something like, oh yeah, I'm only a Shafi'i and I don't want to listen to anyone else. Other than Hanbalis, of course, but, right?
See, he pays attention.
Okay?
So if you're married and you kiss your wife, you lose your wudu.
That went even too far. Just a mere touch.
I heard.
Can you give an example?
Huh?
Can you give an example?
Give an example. So, what is the way for me to come out of that? Is I go into the state of ghusl. Huh? Who caught that? Allah bless them, yes. In the state of wudu. People are nodding heads again. So, any questions so far here? Yes.
So, I just want to talk about touching your wife, holding her hand. That's what.
Again, we're going to talk that in the section of wudu, but intentional, unintentional. For example,
Your own wife? That's right. Dang, that's crazy.
there's some people who follow that opinion, so it's a Shafi'i school thing, by the way. Okay, there's other opinions. Other opinions, inshallah, we'll discuss that out when we're discussing comparative fiqh. Right? But in terms of the Shafi'i itself, and we're going to discuss that inshallah when we come to the nawaqid of wudu, the things that breaks wudu, it's going to get a little bit spicy. Yeah. Khabath. What is khabath?
Does that come from the same word when you enter the bathroom and you say, Bismillahi Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khaba'ith
Min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith. Good. Min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith. Yes, it comes from there. What is that? What is khabath?
Urine, feces,
Urine, feces,
blood.
blood.
Is blood blood?
Okay, why do you think it's khabath and not najasa? Why is it not filth and material impurity?
Why is it not material impurity?
Yeah, so what is the so whatever you mention to me, somebody else is going to come and say, okay, urine, feces, all these things are filth. They are najasa, right? Or anyone disagrees? Mia, do you disagree?
Najasa, spiritual impurity?
Physical. Yes, filth. Anything filthy.
No, usually by material impurity.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. We, again, in the Shafi'ī Fiqh class here, we're all exploring together. I'm just guiding, facilitating the discussion, but this is a class of all of us are exploring this journey together. So it's not like, you know, we're all exploring. What do you think?
Physical being like skin contact and material being like an item.
I like where you're going with that. Can you take it further? So it's in skin contact, something on my skin?
Yeah.
Good. Or my clothes, okay, I like that, okay.
What about when like
the ground.
Or the ground.
when a man stands up to use the restroom and
It splashes back, yes, oh, great, ahsant. So what khabath is the najasa that is found, Mia said, on the body, right? For example, a bat pooped on me. So the poop of the bat is what? Najasa. If it falls on me, this is khabath. I have to remove it. Right? It's not in like the poop itself is najasa. Najasa. So this is the najasa that has attached on the body, on the cloth, and the place of worship. So I have to remove those najasa, or I have to remove that khabath. So in some books they use it interchangeably. That's why I brought it, right? So I've been using, like for the class, I've been using several books. So some books will say khabath, some books will say remove the najasa and all these things. So I just thought it would be something beneficial for all of us to have a little bit of ma'luma. And must be removed before you engage in the, right? Specifically prayer. So when I'm praying and I see a khabath or a najasa that is physically on the body, on the cloth, on the place that I am praying, I have to get rid of it. Shaima.
So whenever it comes on the body, you can do again, right?
We'll come back to that. So question, do I have to make wudu if these things come to this, any specifically to my body? Because the clothes, okay, even to my clothes. If an najasa befalls me, boom, bad poop on me, or make it worse on my skin,
You wash it off.
do I have to make wudu?
If it's on your skin, you have to make wudu. If it's
Okay.
on your clothes, you change it.
Okay, if it's on your clothes, you change them. If it's on your skin, you have to make wudu. A differing opinion? I think we are this democracy, so we have to.
Follow on, because I heard, I know some, I think it's him, that it could be wrong, that when a woman is on her menstrual cycle and she's wearing those clothes, she has to change. She can't wear those clothes if she's already completed that and she's able to pray again. Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, if she touched anything, honestly, any piece of material, clothing,
And
something she's going to pray on, and she's on her menstrual cycle.
Okay.
Does she have to wash that?
But is the cloth itself, did it come in contact with any najasa or any, specifically blood? Did it? No, it's okay. But out of, again, we always, Muslims, we want to do ihsan. We want to present ourselves better. Then I say, okay, I will do, but it's not something that Sharia, that requires me to change it. If you know what I'm saying. So Mia said that if this befalls my body or the cloth, I just remove it. But if it befalls my body, I need to make wudu. What do you guys think? Yes, brother.
I mean, it's like a mother changing a diaper and then wash your hands off, or najasas, and you have to.
So you think you just wash it, not necessarily
I
wudu?
mean, logically.
Yeah, logic is gonna come logic, but yeah.
I'm just giving my opinion.
Okay.
Logic.
Maybe we will take your opinion. We like it. So we like it. 1, 2, and it's consistent with the fiqh, right? So right. So when the najasa comes to the wudu, it does not break with the wudu, and I don't have to renew the wudu. I just have to wash it away. Everyone with me? I'm going a little bit slow, but you know. What time is it, by the way?
6:45.
6:45. We have good time, and we have it up to until 8. Up to 7:50. 7:50 we go to the other hadith class. 10 minutes for preparation. Okay. What is the difference between material and physical? Meaning, what is between the material impurity is what? In Arabic that I said? Khabath, nice. And ritual impurity was najasa, right? Huh? Hadath. Man, people are pay attention. Pay attention. Ritual impurity is hadath. What is the difference? What do you guys think the difference is? And we've said some of it.
I guess whenever hadath comes, it's either you do wudu or ghusl.
Okay, good.
And when hadath occurs, no wudu or ghusl is needed.
Ahsanti.
Is that it?
Yes. So what San said, if people didn't hear, she said for the hadath, it necessitates either, depending if it's major or minor, it either necessitates ghusl or wudu. We've spoken about that, right? But for khabath, I don't require it. All it requires is just for me to remove it. But it does not necessitate for me to engage in that. And another thing is hadath requires a specific intention. Why do you think that? Why do you think the hadath requires intention and this does not require intention? But I'm changing the diaper of a baby, and the urine was in contact with my hand, I just wash it. I don't need intention to wash it. Why? Any guesses? One is a spiritual state. Right? This affects, both of them affects my ibadah, but the other one is a spiritual state. So I need an intention to exit me out of that state. Right? And that's why we're going to discuss, it's wajib or it's fard for the Shafi'is to have intention when they're making wudu. Right? And we're going to discuss that inshallah later on. And then no wudu or no all those stuff. Okay, good. Najasa is filth. Literally, anything that is repulsive and disgusting. That includes sperm, and I chose these for a purpose. Sperm, saliva, and mucus. Saliva is pure in and of itself, right? And sperm is pure, tahir. And mucus is pure. But to us, these are all things are disgusting, right? Especially these two. Disgusting. But is that considered najasa? Is that what when we say fiqh, is that what we're talking about? No. Anything repulsive that prevents one from performing ibadah, i.e. prayer. Right? Of course, prayer is very meticulous. Prayer is something that which is meticulous. Because I can recite the Quran, it's better for me to recite wudu. But right? But prayer in and of itself. So I have to if I have a najasa, for example, the thing I have to remember what we said, we have to remove it. Right? Whatever that process entails. Washing it off or not. But I have to remove it. So that is what we're talking about. What are some of the? And najasa can be what? Major, minor, and the Shafis have a caveat, and medium. Something called mughalladha, mukhaffafa, and mutawassita. Right? So this in the books of fiqh you say, oh, najasa mughalladha. This is the major. And then the minor. What do you guys think? What is the major, what is minor, and what is medium? Let's explore that. Major najasa, what do you guys think? Major najasa. Huge. Very big. Something major najasa. Requires ghusl? I disagree. But that's a good answer. I just disagree with it. Huh?
Are you asking for example?
No. Major najasa. Why is it major? Oh, okay, before that. What are some of the major najasa? My sister, last time you said no, but yeah, I don't know, but a little bit. Now something a little bit different. Menstruation? Major, I don't think so. I don't think it's a major filth. Or I'll just, right, instead of najasa, I'll just say filth. I don't think it's a filth. No, yeah, in that sense. Major? Vomit? Good try, man. Good try. Bleeding blood? Good try. Dogs and pigs and any of their offsprings, right? If they're crossbred by pure. So in the Shafi'i school, every animal, all the animals are tahir. All animals are pure except the dog, the pig, and any of the offspring from those. Why now do we call this major and not the rest of the accounts? Why do we call this major? Again, a lot of times we just stop at fiqh, you can major and this, and then we just gloss over it. Right? I want in this class to explore a little bit of these things. What are they, man? Yeah.
Allah says don't eat the lahm al-khinzir.
Okay.
So that's by default, it must be something.
Nice. Why? Good. Allah Ta'ala says don't eat lam al-khinzir. Okay, good. Don't eat the meat of a pig. Good. That in and of itself makes it major? That can allude to yes. Actually, that's one dalil they use for this, but good. Yeah.
Is it, so I get pig, but dog, is it a dog in and of itself? Or is it a dog's saliva?
Dog in and of itself. I'm not talking about the saliva and all this thing. I'm talking about in and of itself, the dog. In and of itself, the dog. That's why people who know me, I'm like, the dog in and of it. Again, the Malikis will disagree with me. What did we say? Shafi'i. At this moment, we're confined in the Shafi'i zone. But of course, the Maliki school, I don't want to do this, but the Maliki school says every animal is tahir. All the animals are tahir. Right? Shafi'i is a little bit, Poop? No. The chicken sometimes eat their poop. Am I wrong or is that right? They actually do, yeah, some. Any guess? Because there's a specific process involved in removing the najasa caused by this.
Wash it 6 times.
Yes, wash it like 58 times, like 101 times, 1,000 times. Yep, all these good things. Because that is what makes it major. And anything from them, right? Now, the semen, the saliva, the sweat. From this, other madhab now will come and say, okay, yeah, this is what is najasa. And some only restricted to dog. Because we have the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the hadith of wulugh. If the dog licks the ball, then we have to wash it 7 times and 1 of it with dirt. So the Malikis will say, okay, yeah, this hadith is very specific. Wulugh. Very specific. If it's talking about utensils. But the Shafi say, okay, anything that this, so we generalize the whole thing to be. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even in the Quran, He calls the pig rich, right? Rich. So that's why it's a major. Now we know why it's a major, because there's a specific process involved in washing it. 7 times, 1 of it included dirt. And in the Shafi'i school, it's even better, afdal, to make 3 times with dirt. Great. Minor najasa. Minor najasa. Urine of a male baby. Right? A male baby who is less than 2 years and who is fed on the milk alone, the milk of the mother alone. No food, no milk powder, only the milk of the mother. So that we call minor najasa. And from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, we know we have a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ says, if a male child urinates, you just sprinkle water on it and Just remove it to show that it's a minor impurity. Why male over that? I don't know. Medium. So every other thing now is medium. Good. Now we have any liquid intoxicant. What does that mean? Again, purposefully, liquid. Some other things can be haram to consume, but they are tahir. I won't mention name. Some other things, they are tahir, but they are haram to consume, but they are tahir in and of itself. Good plants. Right? Any liquid that intoxicates, what comes to mind?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you guys caught that joke late. Allah. Right? So it's haram, but it's tahir. Wine. So wine is najasa, meaning that if wine pours on my cloth and I'm about to go pray Maghrib, what happens? What happens, Yawarsan?
Hey bro,
I have to remove it or change it, right?
remember there's extremes though. If you're going to die, Allah says He rather you to...
That's totally two different things. Right? So that's totally two different things. Okay, I'm talking about... So, and I said here, I'm talking about vinegar too. But we're going to come back to that. Alcohol. So if alcohol pours on me or for whatever reason I come into contact with alcohol, that is najasa, I have to remove it. Altogether, and slaughter dead animals, the carrions. This is very Quranic, explicit. Okay, except the fish and the locust. Why? We have the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that he talks about that the fish and the locust in itself, they are not najasa when they are dead, right? Or hunted animals, right? Or the hunted animal is dead, of course. I used a bow, an arrow to kill it. So when I get it, that's already, I do not slaughter it, but that is not najasa.
Can you say that again? You said it's not
The animal that I hunt, so the deer that I hunt with my bow, that deer, it's, even though I did not slaughter it before it died, that is not najasa. There's rules involved hunting and all these things. We're going to discuss them if Allah Ta'ala gives us time. But even that, or the animal hunted with a dog. So the Malikis are going to come, oh yeah, no, that's not najasa. But let's run away from those guys, okay? The hair of any unslaughtered dead animal. Meaning, any hair from unslaughtered dead animal. Meaning, any carrions I see on the way, its hair is najasa. Right? Its hair is najasa. Again, in fiqh we have something called mafuun an. If something is really small, it's excusable. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about its essence. And animals that may not be eaten, like cat, and I use that, and mule. I use that cat purposely. The hair of a cat is najasa in the Shafi'ī school. Okay? Whether they are separated from the animal when they are alive or dead. Meaning that I have a cat in the house, the hair that the cat sheds off is what? According to the Shafi'is, najasa. Ha. Okay? Not controversial, everyone is okay with it? Okay, we have questions anyways at the end. The hide of all unslaughtered animals, right? That's pretty simple, it's najasa. But there's a way to purify it. We'll talk about that later on. The meat of a dead animal, that's given, and any dead animal that we do not slaughter it through the means of, let's say, the hunting and stuff like that, so that is najasa, it's meat and everything. A milk of an animal that we may not eat, like for example, a donkey, right? The milk of a donkey is najasa because we don't eat. Or the milk of a chicken, right? Milk of chicken.
They don't make milk.
It doesn't have milk? Okay, good. People are like, yeah, I'm loading. Yes, I learned something new today. So the bone, tooth, horn, hoof, and claws of the animal that we might not eat. Like what? Like dog. Ha. Or a cat. or an elephant, ivory. What do you guys think? Ivory. So there's combs which are made from ivory, right? There's some combs which are made from ivory. Whoa, man. So the ivory, we know that the ivory is najasa. How can I deal with the comb? It's a, do you eat elephant? No. Oh, okay, thank you. I don't. Anyone eats elephant? Shafi'is? Go ask Malikis. Go ask Malikis. I'm not giving an answer, but I'm just saying go ask Malikis. So, ivory, or even then, did you slaughter it? Did you like, Allah faces the Qibla, dhabiha yani, dhabiha, halal, what? Halal elephant, mashallah. We have it. So you acquired an ivory from that. I chose ivory purposely because we have combs and things that we use, right, that's made from ivory. What do you guys think? That's something. Can you eat it though? Again, it's a dispute.
Tell us, man.
Huh?
It doesn't eat meat.
But you right? Don't ask for that. The Quran is very explicit. Don't ask for the right. So the ivory. So these are the things. I chose that because so sometimes the najasa. There's a qaida fiqhiyya. There's a qaida. There's a juristic principle. I sound so smart when I say that. Juristic principle that says that najasa is not transferable on dry stuff. Jaf ala jaf tahara. Right? So, meaning that this comb, when I use it, when my hair is dry, it's okay, it doesn't transfer. But when my hair is wet, now the najasa is transferable because of the wet, because of the principle that we have. For example, that's when they said, okay, when you pet a cat, right? When I pet a cat, I just go, oh, it's okay. But if my hands is wet or the cat is wet now, that from me touching it, it transfers the najasa. I have to go wash out my hands. But just in and of itself, yani, I'm being cute, you know, putting a cat is labas, okay? Wudu from a vessel of najasa, or wudu, I have water that holds something which has, the vessel is a najasa. For example, a skin, again, the hide of the animal that we did not slaughter and it did not go through the process of, of purifying it. Just in and of itself. What do you guys think? Is my wudu valid? No, because it's the water in this is contaminated. It's najasa. Okay, I spoke about that. Flowing blood, and that's what you're saying, bleeding, right? Remember? Flowing blood. Blood is najasa. Again, remember I said there's a qaida in fiqh that there's something called ma'foon an. There's something that is excusable amount. Something little, yani, the Sharia just excused it, right? Some say, what is the size of it? Some say it's the size of a quarter. The thing is the size of a quarter, yep. But nose bleeding and all these things, if you go and ask Hanafis, again, I'll direct you to the Hanafis, yeah.
You don't want to answer your question, I understand. Well, I always wondered, with all that, the fighting and the wars that they did back then, the whole, you know, this outer back then.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
How did you still have to pray while the battle was going on? Like, weren't they bleeding and cut and stabbed?
Is that, I don't know, first, I don't know the situation. Two, is that the norm or the exemption?
Okay.
Right? Is something, if we do not base rulings on exemptions. So, or something in the Sharia that's called rukhsa. Rukhas is not the standard of what we, all these things, there's most of the things you find there's exemptions to a lot of things that people say. Right? Can I make wudu? Yeah, you have to make wudu. Is there an exemption? Yeah, all these things, right? But exemption is not the standard rule. Pass, yani, right, is filth. So what if now, for example, sometimes you have a wound that, you know, it brings about like a liquid. Is that liquid, it's not pass for sure, but is that liquid in and of itself najasa? It's disgusting again. It's disgusting, but is it najasa now? What do you guys think? Huh? It is not if the smell is not, it doesn't smell bad, or the color of that, usually it's a very clear liquid, right? If the color changes, then it's najasa, and if it smells really bad, Allah protect us, it's najasa. But if not, it's okay, it's pure. Disgusting, but pure. And everyone following me, by the way? I know it's boring, but inshallah, yani, through this we get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just keep that in mind. And I'm not the best of the teachers. Any discharge that comes out of the private parts, any discharge. Are there exemptions? Of course there are. What do you guys think of sperm, mani? Sperm. Is it pure?
No. Yes. It's just sperm.
Why?
Because Allah said, isn't the proof they use that Allah created us from that nutfah? So
of course.
How can we say Allah created us from something filthy?
Najasa, yeah. So if the asal is najasa, then there isn't, yeah, right? And then they talk about the takrim of the son of Adam. The ennoblement of the son of Adam. So they say, the Shafi'ī say, like, sperm is not a najasa. What about madhi? What is madhi?
Pre-seminal fluid.
Right? Pre-seminal fluid. Meaning that comes out of lust. So that is impure. That is najasa. Have to wash it away. Again, it breaks wudu. This specifically breaks wudu. Now this part. But we're going to talk about what things that breaks wudu. But madhi, right, is najasa. And we have something called wadi. What is wadi? So wadi is actually a fluid that once somebody pees, they urinate, and they finish, there's a fluid that comes out. That's what is called wadi. And that wadi is impure. So meaning that it has to be washed away. Okay? Vomit. Vomit is najasa. Okay, what about if I am sleeping? Sometimes, you know, when you eat late at night and you eat something greasy, food comes, right? It's, again, najasa, man. Filthy in its original, in its literal meaning. It's disgusting. But is that considered najasa? Stomach secretion that comes out of sleeping, right? That's najasa. I have another question now. If some people when they sleep, they, what is it called? Drool. So the drool, what do you guys think? Is it najasa? Huh? No? The mere jurisprudential, right? Jurisprudential territory says no. What do you guys think? Any defining jurisprudence right here? Any jurist disagrees? In and of itself, no. Right? So far as he has no smell and he has no change of color. And most of the time that thing doesn't smell nice. But if he has no smell and there's no change to its natural color, then it's pure. But other than that, you know, it smells disgusting. It's what? It's najasa, you just have to scrape it. This will take hukum like the thing like the sperm. If there's a sperm that is on the cloth, we have the hadith of Sayyidah Aisha, right? She used to scrape it out. Okay, great. Can najasa turn pure? All these things we talked about, yeah, najasa, this thing. And what I'm targeting here specifically now, the things like the skins, because we have a lot of leather wallets, right? We have a lot of leather bags, mashallah, Allah bless us. Oh, leather. Again, we spoke about some of the unslaughtered animals is najasa. So is there a way for me, like, or am I just carrying najasa when I have my wallet here? Allahu Akbar. Big filthy najasa in my pocket, man. Whew. Or there's some jackets, the antique good jackets. I'm covered with entire najasa. Whew. Question for you guys, jurisprudence. The lawyers right here, can najasa turn pure? What do you guys think? Yeah, Afendam, you are too silent today. Can najasa turn pure? Okay. If it's dry? Whew. Woo, man, my guy just took my qaida and just went with it in the wajh that I did not expect. Jeez, dry on dry. But we talk about the transferability though, not the transferability of najasa. We're not talking about, now we talk about that najasa, can it be pure?